but I'm sorry for their loss.
Mm-hmm.
So let
Yes.
me ask you a question. As an elected official, we just saw it. We're talking about the situation in Uvalde, Texas, where 21 people lost their lives, 19 children.
Mm-hmm.
And as a mayor, okay, how do you feel about that way they kind of cover up the information about this? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, we have to start from square one in the laws that we're making. There's too many gun laws, well, they're not gun laws, I would say. And we need to address that. It has to be at that particular level. I mean, it's a shame that we're having so many kids that are shot and they can't even go to school and be safe, as well as the women and the men. We have been having a lot of suicides. There's a lot of mental
Oh
conditions that
yeah.
are going on that we need to certainly address. And the money's there, but we're fighting over Roe versus Wade. When I mean, that's just ridiculous. When you have all these other issues that are out here. But
Yes, ma'am.
yes, and so I'm very disappointed in that particular verdict or whatever you want to call it. But I just call it a verdict that came down to what they're doing. But it's sad that that's happening like that, and we're moving things backwards instead of going forwards, and trying to really address the priorities. And mental health is definitely one of them. And then trying to control some of these gun laws. We don't have
Wow.
any. Yeah.
Well,
So that.
Madam Mayor, one of the things I know you can kind of speak to, in the state of Missouri, okay, we have very little help, I should say, for PTSD people, which is
Yes.
called our students, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who are being more affected. I recall years ago when, I guess it's called Governor Blunt,
Uh-huh.
started cutting out the benefits what he thought was to the black community, okay? But we
Uh-huh.
found out there were more whites on welfare than blacks on welfare.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. That's been a big secret. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big secret.
Right. Exactly. And they never want to talk about that, even in Jeff City. It's always who's on welfare, but you never disclose who really is on welfare. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, our state, I know you can speak to this. The mental health has been is something that people don't want to talk about.
Exactly.
But we all know somebody, even some of our family members, okay, that's been affected.
I totally agree with that. I mean, it's happening every day.
Yes.
You have people, I mean, they're shooting their parents and the kids and
Oh
everything.
my God. Yes.
So, and it's sad, and we really have to address that. We're trying to come together and getting some grassroots together about mental health. I know some of the other communities are actually having a mental health expert on duty where they can actually help and ride with the police officers or be on call. So we're trying to get that universal and work on that piece. But everything takes time. But we really don't have time because it's happening so rapidly.
Well, Madam Mayor, I got a gentleman of the station, Scott Owens, on the radio with us here, okay? And
Okay.
I'd like to put him on the spot. We'd like to help you with that effort if all possible, okay?
That
And
would be
so,
great. Hmm.
because right now the word need to be put out, okay? And the thing that I always say, in the black community, especially, we have poor communications right now.
Yes.
That we can communicate with, and we're going to station here, the original internet radio station in the community here. We're going
Hmm.
to be a part of the community, and by doing that, we want to reach out to you and your constituency who
Hmm.
were a part of what was taking place at that time. And now the fruits of our labor, which is bad, okay, is
Uh-huh.
coming on the roots right now, these young kids. And also,
Okay.
St. Missouri passed a law early on about, everybody can get up. So what are your thoughts about that? Well, I got you on the phone. We got you here.
Okay. Hold on just a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I said, what are your thoughts about how Missouri was the one that first get pistols without any type of check? They could just walk into a store. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I think it's terrible. I was up in Jeff City when they passed that law, and we
I
was
know, I
fighting on.
recall.
Yeah. Um, and it's just a shame because I mean, there's no kind of how can you really make a law where people can walk? What are the 14s and all these assault rifles? Yeah, and it doesn't make sense when you don't need that kind of a weapon to protect yourself. And that's what we're doing. We're putting ourselves at risk, and also it's like we have a world war. You can say three or whatever here, right in in our country, itself. So it's really unrealistic, and I just think the NRA because they grade us every year in Jeff City, and my record was an F, so I was glad to get an F from them. But they actually send you a grading score of how you vote on their gun laws. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you had the record that you had.
Well, thank you, but I'm not for anything that is crazy and it's going to hurt our people as well as others. So we need to make sure that
it is crazy.
Yes, it is. But the laws is where we have to start, and the people you put in office is all. So you make sure you're voting for somebody that's like-minded and have the same kind of interest that you have. And a lot of that people are not doing their background checks and those kind of things. So we need to make sure that's done. And we also need to have background checks. And I've said this numerous times about the PTSD about our police officers as well. I mean, we have to have things because they're going through traumatic experiences every day. So, yes, and they told me when I had that bill out that if I couldn't fund it, they couldn't do anything about it to make sure they had psychological testing on an annual basis. So, all those things is something we need to look at and make sure that we're protecting them as well as the community.
Well, man, this is okay. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce, which I'm the president of and the founder of, I'm willing to work with you, okay? So, work with you, okay? Madam Mayor from Ferguson, okay?
Yeah, that's my friend.
That's my friend.
But we work close together. Yeah, we close ties here. All of us, including the concert people as well in Ferguson.
Well, I want you, okay?
Laquita and
Laquita, all of them, have them give you my information.
And Phaedra, yeah. And Phaedra,
all of them, I work with, okay?
Well, great. Well, they're good people. Yeah.
Well, I want to include you into our family. I want that you know that they will give you my information, okay? How you get in contact with me.
Okay.
And I will make sure that we can continue to work going forward.
I appreciate it.
On this effort, because it's something that don't need to go away, okay?
Yes, exactly. Well, you can email me at space@cityofnorthwoods.com, okay?
Okay, now I know how to find you, okay. Okay, now who else we haven't talked to so far?
Okay, that's it. I'm going to give you back to the illustrious Mayor, Ella Jones. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Hello. As you can see, we are in collaboration, partnership, friendship, everything, working for these kids in Ferguson.
Well, Madam Mayor, let me ask you a question, okay? Have we talked to you about this in your group? Do you leave anybody out?
No, you got everyone.
Okay.
You got everyone. And then I'll be sending some information about CFI and the grand opening of this park, okay?
Yes, ma'am, we'd like to be a part. I mean, we found out about that, okay, when you were on our program.
Right.
Years ago, and you started talking about it, and we're in a different meridian, okay, that wasn't totally for like you are, like you were, okay, like you are now.
Right.
And I'm just glad that you follow through, on getting it done, and I think right now the community will be forever grateful, okay, that that an idea is now coming to fruition, and it's going to take the community for a lifetime. And I'm so happy for that. So anyway, Madam Mayor, since I got you on the phone, okay, now let me ask you. I'm going to put a politician question to you, okay? How do you think the gun bill that was finally signed today, I should say, by the president, how will that affect the election come November?
We're going to try to get more Democrats up in the House. So,
and the Senate.
In Missouri, the Senate seat is up for grab.
Yes.
And it's about 7 or 8 people running for that seat.
10.
It's 10. Okay, it's 10 people running for that Senate seat. And on the Democratic side, so we're looking at Lucas Kuntz. He's a bright young man. He seemed to care about the state of Missouri. So we've been listening to him and talking with him, and hopefully he will be on the winning end of that Democratic primary in August, so he
Okay.
can get on the ballot in November.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, while we're talking about that, we also have a female running on that. What's her name? Trudy Valentine, Bush Valentine.
Trudy Bush Valentine. Yeah, we do understand she's running for U.S. Senator.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, but right now our race, okay, that race is become a hot race now in the whole country because of our ex-governor who's still acting a fool.
Yeah, he's running on the Republican side.
Yeah. And right now, he had a commercial this past week that embarrassed the whole state. Would you agree?
What? I haven't seen that commercial.
Oh, well, that's what it was. He come in with a shotgun, a long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he's trying to, knocking the doors down and just being a fool, for lack of a better description. Right now, that's one thing. So right now, in the city of Ferguson, okay, let me say this to you. I said, you are doing a hell of a great job. Okay.
Thank you.
Changing your community, okay. And every time I read about something going on that changes, okay, how much the people are flocking to Ferguson. And I can say this on the air. When people go to Ferguson now, okay, they're in a total different place than they thought they were going to. It's now more radiant than ever before. Can I say that over there?
That is true. We are moving forward. We have good council people who work with the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
and the mayor works with different council people. So that's what it takes. Everyone, have their own projects, and we
Mm-hmm.
just need to come together and continue work on different people projects. That's all.
Well, I know. We have been doing the fishing derby up there for a couple of years, okay, about the COVID-19. But we trying to get back on the schedule, for 2023, okay, over January.
Right, right.
That was
That's good. Linda Lipka worked that fishing derby with you. I came in and visited, so we're looking forward to come back in 2023.
Well, now, okay, you was the councilwoman then, okay, but you are now the mayor now, okay, and
Yes.
you was there supporting the community, and I know the one thing about politics, they transcend all borders, okay, and me personally, okay, I consider you a friend, not just a politician friend, okay.
Right, we are friends because your wife makes the best sweet potato pies for me and my family.
Right. Well, no, those pies are legendary. And like, but fact, is you gonna get your pie? No,
Yeah, I came and got my pies, and my daughter had eaten those pies up.
Your daughter came to town. That's when she was coming to town. That's
Right.
And she was wanting to make sure that she got a sweet potato pie, okay? But I can say that right now, so I got Scott Rib on the line, and they already know about the pie, And also, Madam Mayor, I've been saying this for quite a while, okay? People have been predicting doom and gloom for the Democratic Party come November. But I've been saying after the hearings that we hear up in Washington, D.C. in the last couple of weeks, what are your thoughts about those hearings that have been taking place, what you've been hearing about?
Well, those hearings, time is going to tell, and I don't think the ex-president is going to come out looking as smooth as he wants to be.
Well, how so?
Well, he had a hand in January the 6th. He had a hand in that. He the one that got those people all excited and want to storm the Capitol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that was there was an attack on that was an attack. There was that's a storm.
It was an attack.
Like that. And never in my life have I ever saw a Confederate flag walking through the Capitol.
I know.
And me coming from the South, that just hurt my heart, tremendously, to see that take place, And also, I guess, one of the things, I'd like to bring up here, that there's a video that was being made behind the scenes. And, one of the things in our industry now, communication can be your downfall, they can help you. And the whole video tape is supposed to be behind the scenes telling, like the one that came out about, the Proud Boys. They have another tape now, okay, that was going live streaming behind the scenes Well, Donald Trump was videotaping. He thought it was his victory party.
Mm.
That's what I said too. And that's why I think the hearing's okay, as great as they are. And I think in a way, nature has a way of kind of doing things. And I think right now is a break that they now for this Roe versus Wade, to come out and talk about it for a while and disagree.
Okay.
But Mayor Jones, I know well, first of all, let me ask, what are some things you want the public to know about Ferguson right now?
Well, Ferguson is moving forward. Play, and you have to come in Ferguson and mingle with the people to see that we are a good set of people. Now, we have our problems like any other municipalities, but we're willing to work on them and go forward.
Well, Mayor Jones, I will say, okay, there's one thing that I can say, and I'm happy to say, okay, there's been a real good resurgence of black businesses in your community. That's unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have a lot of black businesses that have opened up in the city of Ferguson. As you know, we just got a new wine bar. Yeah. We got Kings of Soul, and matter of fact, on Monday night at 5 o'clock, I'm having my birthday party at one of the new black-owned businesses, King of Soul. So if anybody want to come out, they're more than welcome. And of course, we got Kathy Kitchen, we have Drake's, we have the popcorn people. So we have a lot of black businesses that have opened up in Ferguson.
Yeah, and a lot of other businesses, matter of fact, the community business as a whole has grown, okay? People who came thinking gloom and doom, it's found out a very good, vibrant community there.
Right.
And so right now, if a person listen to us right now want to come visit Ferguson, they want to open a business in Ferguson, okay, they should call you. How can they do that?
Only thing they have to do is call City Hall and ask for Elliot Lieberson, and he's planning and zoning, and he will let people know what's available in Ferguson.
And also, you be so kind, give us this number 3 times how to get a hold of City Hall.
Say what now?
Give us the telephone number for City Hall 3 times.
Oh, let me give you the number to City Hall.
3 times.
3 times. Okay, here we go. The telephone number to City Hall is 314-521-7721. City Hall, 314-521-7721. Once again, the number for Ferguson City Hall is 314-521-7721.
Well, Madam Mayor, I'm not going to take any more of your time, okay? But I want to thank you, okay, for planning such a good addition to the show today. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I know we will be out here finishing up this park, but I thought it would be a great idea that you had an opportunity to talk with the council people and the union, knowing that we are working together to better this community.
Amen. Well, right now, Rick and Scott don't listen to the business as it's going, and we are excited, okay, for the work that you're doing. And, and by the way, happy birthday in advance, for your birthday.
Okay.
Happy birthday! And many more!
Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, and as usual, well, I got you, my number. Anytime you need me or want to know, I can just listen to you. And
yeah.
Is your daughter coming up for your birthday?
No, she's not coming up.
Well, Madam Mayor, let me say this to you, okay? Let me go check. I'm almost sure I have a birthday present in my freezer.
Okay.
And I ain't got to tell you what it is.
Okay, that'll work.
That'll work, okay. So, again, yes, I do, okay?
All righty.
So, we're good for that. So, thank you again, Madam Mayor, for being a part of the program. And naturally, let all those young ladies know, give me their telephone. I think I have most of them already, okay? So we can get them a copy of the program.
All right, then.
Madam Mayor, Ferguson, Missouri, Ms. Ella Jones, happy birthday weekend. And I thank you for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Yes, the rest of your life is going to be safe.
Okay, all right, bye-bye.
Okay, Scott Real, well, that was our guest, Madam Mayor from Ferguson, Missouri. Ms. Ella Jones. And as usual, the funny part about that, Real, all the guests that she had that have been on our program in the past.
Amen.
And that is a blessing by itself.
Amen.
That we've been able to be a part of what's going on here in the community, and help the community, and plans and future shows there. And as Ferguson, you gotta say the number one, the first original in that station in the St. Louis area. Is showing how we work with the entire community, and especially the community that's all bordering in Ferguson, Missouri.
Amen.
But now, when she called in, we were kind of going down some of the things that were being discussed, and in that, each one of them kind of waited. Like we're a former state rep who's now mayor there, so I go there because one of the things. People we have gun shooting their heart out, it's a mental issue. Well, unfortunately, most counties, most cities, and most states do not have mental health care because in most cases, where all these most damage is being done, health care has been taken out of those neighborhoods, out of those states. I mean, so really, if you don't have insurance, you have very little access to mental health, and if you go to anywhere, excuse me, first thing they're going to ask you up front, you got insurance? Before they even talk to you. And unfortunately, most people who may have issues with that don't have insurance. And so then what do they do next? What do they do next, okay? One thing for sure, okay, they ain't gonna treat you. They're gonna tell you, come back and you got some insurance. And that is not a good thing to do. Especially you come someplace looking for help, needing help, not looking, but needing help. And to be, because right now, there's a lot of, and I can talk about Missouri in those states, and I can talk about what's going on in our state, what's going on, and how we need to work together more improving things. But as we have this conversation, PTSD is something that's not just confined to people who came back from the war. So that's alive and well with our young people like never before. One of the things that we keep talking about here on the 9th of July, we're going to discuss about some of the things that kids are learning in the school, or didn't learn in school, was prayer, which is how to get along with people.
Amen.
Or some of the scriptures that Rev just talked about this morning, Colossians 3. You know what I mean? How to be honest with people. I mean, and those are the basic things, unfortunately, they're not being taught at home nowadays. And those, again, okay, that's where I think that was the tip of the iceberg that I grew up in school with the reading the Bible. Real, I know you did, I'm not quite sure how it came out for you, okay, you was in grade school. And your first guy, just listening to the flag, you can say the Lord's Prayer. And I also look at damn that, I haven't read anybody, to be honest with you. Well, help me understand that, Maria. What happened? Why do people would be against the Lord's Prayer? Real?
Once you cook
You know why they don't say the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah.
Because it ain't they Lord. They don't believe in it. So why should they pray to him?
No, I'm saying, Rev, why the young children, okay, who are babes, how that would affect them, okay, in their everyday lives, and how it affected us when we were small kids.
Well, that'll affect the youngsters because That's where the parents come in. Parents, if the parents don't know, the parents can't teach the children either before they go into school.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying before the mayor called in, the hearings are now taking a break, okay, and also I'm happy to say that this recent bill that just passed, okay, go a long way in changing some of the issues that we have with the people for their rights and stuff. With the rights and stuff that they're dealing with, because availability of guns in the wrong hands has been the downfall of our country in so many ways. And,
Amen.
And so one of the things that we have tried to deal with, understand what is being done and how does it affect you. And so right now, I have a little list a little bit here so people can understand, since this bill will not be made public about what is being done. I put a copy up here with this bipartisan. They call it the Bipartisan Save the Communities Act. What it does, it expands child and welfare mental health services. That is very needed, okay? Very needed. That's within this bill. It also will strengthen background checks for buyers under age 21. So these young men who be getting these guns, and like the gentleman had somebody buy him his ammunition for him because he couldn't buy it himself, okay? Up to, age 21. This is going to go a long ways in hopefully slowing that down. And you were slowing that down. And also it clarifies who is considered a gun seller. Now, why this is so important? You go to gun shows, like Scott, you recall we had Mr. Adams on a couple months ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we're going to get him back. He was telling us, okay, at the gun show, I shake my head every time I think about this. At the gun show that was taking place, outside, they had a man going in, bag gun, coming outside, selling to somebody else. Now, when that did, okay, go ahead, Scott.
Yep, that was one of the big problems is having these underground guns going out.
Yeah.
We have plenty of laws against guns and stuff like that right now, and that's one of them is reselling from a gun show.
Right, because right now in the bad part, we can tell our listeners here the show, police are watching this whole thing take place.
Yeah.
And that was the sad part, and what the policeman said, we have no control over that. You know what I'm saying? Well, thank God here, okay. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I'm not saying anything. Go ahead.
Okay, but thank God, okay, this provision in the Bipartisan State Communities Act gives the police now authority, okay. And I guarantee you, the guys outside, who's getting the guns, don't have a license, and keep in mind, if you look at that gun show, you don't see a lot of black people up in the gun show. You've been there before, I can tell you that for a fact. Now, so we're not in there buying guns, okay? But we have people coming out of the gun show, selling some guns, getting some more money, come back out, selling something, and give them to other people. We come get you some new guns. And like I said, the police department is watching this whole thing take place right in front of their eyes. And so hopefully this right here can boost the program, to control who the gun dealers are. Offense for gun trafficking and red flag laws. Well, all those are meant to be okay. They're trying to close us a lot of loopholes that people can use for getting away from this. And also, you mentioned, if you listen, you heard the young lady, the mayor now, who was a former state representative, and she was telling you that the IRA gave her a failing grade as a legislator in Missouri, in the House of Representatives, because a lot of these people that be voting there, okay, they are doing business for people, who didn't put them in office. Well, I should say that. They got donations and money from people that put them in office. And once that takes place, okay, that changes how or what they do. Partisan State and Community Act says it will also have close the boyfriend loophole. Now, would that mean that's a loophole where if somebody's attacked, has some, attack their girlfriends and stuff like that? So right now, these are just some of the things that's in the bill that was quietly signed today by the president before we going to the G7 summit. But guess who just landed in our lovely presence? Chuck DeBow. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm great. Good afternoon.
Well, welcome home, first of all, okay?
Thank you.
Well, that's the motto of my church. We walk in the door, you say, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home.
Hey, Chuck!
My brother in Christ.
Yeah.
How are you, Ray?
Glad to see you back.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. It was a great break to get out and see what's going on in the world.
I had the angels watching over you.
Oh, man, I needed them, too, because it's crazy.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, I know Scott and all of us been missing you, okay, and when you came in on, we just had, matter of fact, we had the mayor of Ferguson, Mayor Jones, but she also had the mayor of Norwood, a state representative, another councilwoman, and also a lady that was on months and years ago. Chuck, you recall we were trying to get a little park dedicated for the kids in Ferguson, and they just got a strip of land where that park right now is just finished being built. And the Quarters Union was the one over today, okay, giving the finishing touches for that park. And it is now alive and well. And so we had all them on us yesterday, for the program, through Mayor Jones.
Well, I know we've been working on that playground for a while.
Yes, we have. So right now, the Quarters Union came in. Matter of fact, a lot of the unions came in, and just volunteered their time, I just said that's the union, okay? There were a lot of people who volunteered the material, you know what I'm saying? As well as, their time, to come in there, and to give back to the community. And it's being well received. But Chuck, first of all, since you've been gone, tell us what you've been up to, first of all.
Well, I went on a little road journey that was catalyzed by family activities. One of my aunts, who is phenomenal, had her 95th birthday.
Wow.
And, for her birthday, she had a dinner party, but they got out there and started doing the Zumba, exercise dance thing with her exercise group. So I think that's the secret to her fountain of youth, that she keeps moving, keeps active. But it gave me a chance to see a lot of friends and relatives I hadn't seen, since before the pandemic, and had a chance to catch up. Spent a day there, and then went on to see my in-laws up in the Chicago area.
Okay.
And while I was there, I mixed a little business with it and got to see our new Northwest Indiana Chamber.
Okay.
And talk about some of the economic programs and initiatives that they're foreseeing they need to implement as they get going. And then I met with some of the people that are attempting to convert the Gary Airport into an international freight depot.
Wow.
And so it was really a lot of new thoughts, new ideas, new people with their perspectives on just what's going on and how things are. And there's grave concerns, as there should be. One of the things that I can tell you about, because we were driving, man, these roads are in bad shape. Yeah, and they're just putting us into a whole new there's all the rest of the stuff too. And man, these trucks, they got to have roads. They got to have good roads. And even though they were out there working on it, and I mean, we were out on the Indiana Turnpike, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, the Ohio Turnpike,
Wow.
Illinois Tollway.
Okay, so, Chuck, just for people who do not travel, explain what the turnpikes are.
Turnpikes are the national highway system that is supposed to be the top shelf of road services, road travel, because they charge you a fee to use them. You know, when you go through a toll booth, that money is supposed to go to the Interstate Highway Trust Fund that's for upkeep of these roads. And I will tell you, those roads are in great shape. But, I mean, we pay $5.90 in one place to use part of to be on the toll road. We paid another $6 in one place, and these are tolls that just a few years like $1.25, and back 75 cents.
Yeah,
You'd stop. Yeah, you would stop and pay it. Now it's all electric. The electronic device, a toll pass in your car, they just photograph your license plate, bill you anyway. Charge you $20 for $5 if you don't have the setup. So it sells, and find out what's happening. But I will tell you, yes, the infrastructure. I mean, it's like what y'all been doing. This thing is bad. And the places where they're trying to work, and they got workers out there, the trucks are trying to go by you, and they have this uneven pavement. So it makes your car swerve, and you've only got room on each side of you, whether you're going to go off the road or into a barrier.
Except you have inches.
Yeah, it's and people are whizzing by you. Then up there in Chicago, it's another world. It's another world. It's 24 hours a day, deadlock, bumper to bumper traffic, and you got some crazy drivers too. And I thought it was, I hadn't been out on the highway. 70 miles an hour seemed pretty fast to me. But then everybody's driving 80. And then you get some fools in a little inexpensive, lightweight car go zooming by you, and they got to be doing 100 when, they like blow your doors off when they go by. So, it's some crazy stuff going on, and I did get a chance to drive by the construction site for the Obama Library, which is south part of Chicago. And it's a huge construction site, but I was pleased to see that some of our members have had the chance to become contractors for it. One of them is providing roofing materials, and I believe we've got some members out of the Illinois Black Chamber that are doing some of the infrastructure, pouring concrete, doing some of the basic stuff, excavating. It's a huge project.
Oh, yes.
So I saw a lot. One of the other things, if I keep going, is, the retail situation is really changed. There's a lot of empty storefronts, and you kind of got to go by and see if they're in there, depending on what type of business it is. But we've got some, they talk about these food deserts where there's no grocery stores and that kind of thing. And then even when you do get one, you got to get a good one. It's got inventory. It's got product in there. A lot of them are having problems getting materials, produce, fresh fruit, even some of the meat and other things. And it's just it's an unsettling time because we know things are in transition.
Well, Chuck, I know there was a recent article that came out and saying, this went back 167 years, okay? And one thing that's been consistent, okay, is that blacks and white wealth, they got to continue to get wider and wider and wider and wider. And in doing that, it's not just an accident. These are rules that have been made against us, even the recent pandemic, blacks were, they were kind of getting back from the depression they had in the housing bubble that wiped a lot of people out in the pandemic. along. You know, that's wiped out a lot of back in the South, you know. And then also, as an undercurrent to that, Chuck, as you know, that a lot of business owners, you know, fortunately got money on here from the PPP money that was out there. And now they're starting to come back and check, and when they weren't right, some of them are going to jail.
Shoot, some of them, I hate to say it, but some people need to go to jail for what they've done. I mean, you have big businesses that didn't need the money that took hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. I'm talking about, like, I mean, some ministries, like Joe Olsen, several of TV ministries, and what they did say one thing, well, no, we didn't ask them for it, they just sent it to us. But we, as people in our black community, we were asking for it and we couldn't get it.
Couldn't even get in the door.
Right, and I know that for a fact, and you know that for a fact.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we were talking to us, okay, and we were saying, without the census members, okay, and luckily, so forth, none of our members that got caught up in the trap, because I kind of work with all of our members who got some money, okay, with just people here in St. Louis, and in matter of fact, and they got their loans, okay, and benefit, from some of the benefits that came with that. So I mean, there are people who did the right, who are doing the right thing, who are still doing the right thing. Well, and first of all, I got a list of things that shoot at you, okay. But first of all, the gun bill that just was signed, which you came in on there, okay. What are your thoughts about that? I know it's well overdue.
It's noise. I hope it has an impact. I think it's a minimal amount of effort. We could have been doing so much more, but at least it's a start. Somebody's trying to say something, do something, but it's not enough.
Nowhere close. Matter of fact, it's like a drop in 1 million gallons of water.
Yeah. I had to think about that for a minute. A drop in 1 million gallons of water. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, think about that, okay? That's a lot of water.
Don't even know how much water. How many football fields, swimming pool water is that? You know what I mean? But we're going to see the same thing. And I mean, out there, like take that Chicago area. Chicago is known for its gun violence.
Yeah.
And what's going on. And you talk to some of the people there, and that live there, and they're like, it's out of control, and they're just kind of had to adapt to it. It's like the new reality, the new way life is. So they've got certain highways that kind of go down through the city, and they're telling me, like, are you crazy? You drove that highway? And I said, not only did I drive it, but there were about 1 million other cars out there bumper to bumper at midnight, trying to navigate and get out of that area, back out to the suburbs. And they're saying, well, you're taking your life in your hands. And I said, is that bad? And they said, well, we don't really think it's what they say it is. And of course, I was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? They said, in order to hit a car moving at 70 or 80 miles an hour and hit the driver, you got to be quite a shot to hit that. And they're saying that these aren't some gangbangers with nothing to do. These are trained snipers out there shooting people. And I said, so what do you think? It says, well, somebody's trying to make a statement. So whether it's gun control advocates or whether it's somebody that just wants to disrupt society and create havoc, and again, we're talking about a conspiracy theory, but they're out there. Those conspiracy theories are out there. And it's that bad, and I didn't really check the numbers to see how many people got killed over the weekend.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, but it's that high.
Yeah, it's that high. Chuck, you're in St. Louis. Well, there's a figure I came across the other day that kind of, it didn't blow my mind, but it made me start thinking, here in Missouri, Missouri, we always on the bad end of stuff, that, the guns, that in Kansas City, that now Kansas City, let me say this here first, okay? It's the only city in the country, okay, that doesn't have control of its own police force. But that means the commissioners are not appointed by the mayor; they're appointed by the governor. And likewise, also it used to be in St. Louis, but we changed it over. But in Kansas City, they said that out of every 10 crimes, only 2 crimes were being solved. And also, okay, the Kansas City ranked out of 500 cities in the country, okay, they checked, for gun violence and stuff. They came in number 495 out of the top 500. And that's bad. That is bad.
And do you attribute that to politics?
No,
leadership?
No, I attribute it to, well, in Missouri, yes, okay. Because one of the things that before, in our state, you don't need any permit to carry a gun, long gun. You go down the street with AK-47, which I've seen people do this, okay. And so it's really, and then in Missouri, in recent years, our legislators were trying to fight the federal departments that were working out in their states, okay, to fight against organized crime. Well, they passed a bill saying it was illegal, okay, for the police departments in the state to work with them. That is a part of government. There's so many laws on the book that we're not even talking about. But we're meant, okay, to put blacks in a bad position. But now it's affecting again the white population as well.
That's where we're starting to get the rub. When it starts affecting people with money, people in higher tax brackets, and what they're doing, that's where we're starting to hear or see, and that kind of like leads us right up to this other big issue that just happened with the Roe versus Wade.
Well, Chuck, before that, okay, let me tell you one other one, okay, that you got to think about, okay. In this the January 6th committee stuff, okay, one of the things that jumped out like a bad situation was this Clark guy, Jeff Clark. Let me pronounce this right, I hope I am. That he's complaining that he used to be the assistant attorney general for the United States, okay. That he's complaining, okay, that they came to his house at 6 o'clock in the morning, okay, and did a raid and put him out and put it in, and took all his electronic devices. When he's the man that did that for so many people. Now it is him, and he's complaining. You're not supposed to happen to me, okay? You're supposed to treat me different.
It's some crazy times is what it is, because you got 2 political parties fighting each other. Mm-hmm. And who's breaking what rule?